This is my Starfruit plant. This is a Sri Kembangan variety. I bought this in 2022 Feb. That's like summer of 2022. And it was basically, what I bought was basically a piece of twig from an online nursery, and they charged me bloody $50 for it. Small twig. After 3 years, it's a much more bigger twig, I guess. This is potted in a 100-liter air pot. No, I don't have space. It is potted beside my lamb has avocado tree. So this has grown pretty well in 3 years. I have pruned it to give it a tree-like shape, otherwise it gets really bushy. And if you're growing it, you need to keep that in mind. It's really a bushy plant. This is a difficult plant to grow. I chose the Sri Kembangan variety because there's a curry variety, and also which is, I believe, is much more easier to grow in Melbourne. But this variety I chose mainly because of flavor. I believe this is sweeter and the flavor is nicer. Now this is a difficult plant to grow in Melbourne. It needs protection, so it cannot take cold. It cannot take wind, which is a cold, which is an issue with Melbourne. It cannot take wind, is again an issue, and it cannot take too much heat. Now, what I've discovered over a period of time is that in winter it practically loses all its flower leaves. It becomes really sick in winter, even though it's under frost protection throughout winter. In summer, this year I haven't given any shade protection, but when it was first 2 years I've given it shade protection in summer. But this year is doing pretty well in summer. It's able to take about 35-36 degrees also, and the heat. The way it is a bit protected. The position of this tree is a bit protected. It's protected by the lamb house and the house beside me rather, and my carport. And on this side it is protected by my apple trees, the lemons, and all the other plants. So it is a bit protected. The challenge with this tree is it cannot take any variation in environmental conditions. Means if there's southern wind, strong winds, it reacts immediately. It drops its leaves. If the temperature is, say, 20 degrees and the next day it becomes 40 degrees, or from 40 degrees it becomes 15 degrees, which is quite normal in Melbourne. There's 20 degrees temperature variation within days. It'll immediately react by dropping its leaves. It's a difficult plant to grow. In 3 years, I haven't had any fruits. Last year, at the beginning of this year, means in the beginning of say Jan, I think, it developed some flowers, but the flowers dropped off at bud stage. The flowers were very fragile. I can see some flowers now. You can see some of these flowers now. See how fragile the buds are. It's going to drop off in the wind, so it's not going to stay. So you can see how fragile the buds look. So I'm not expecting any fruits this year, so we'll see. Otherwise, it's loving the airport. I got to keep it watered almost every day during summer. In winter, I don't water it because it's under shade protection, frost protection, and winter is quite cold and it rains all the time, so I don't water it at all in winter. Summer, I need to water it every day, and if it's a very hot day, then I'll water twice a day. Because it's in an airport, it tends to dry out faster. Otherwise, I don't know what to expect. Hopefully I get some fruits next year. I'm sure I won't get anything this year. Looking at the buds, how fragile the buds are. I'm hoping that I'll get something next year. I'll keep my fingers crossed. thanks for watching. If you have any questions on this tree or plant, should I say, please put in your comments. Thanks.